what is going on? What is going on? Back at you with another video. And today I got a little article with someone that
she belongs to the streets.
And she really is just a problem with society, with our women these days. They just are basically gardening tools out here. They just want to just screw anything that has a pulse. And that's why they really just...
She belongs to the streets.
And she says 10 things women should never stop doing because relationships don't define you. And honestly, as a woman, relationships do define you, because when women talk to women, they ask, what's the first thing a woman asks? Are you married, right? Because that's how you're defined. You're defined by your relationships. If you can't keep relationships, that tells people you're not really a great person to be around. Whether it's romantic relationships, friendly relationship, work relationship, any relationship, relationships define you. Like, so anyone that tells you they don't, they're lying, Miss Holly Riordan. So she says, you're single, you're not dead. That's why you should stop complaining and start living. There are plenty exciting opportunities out there for single women like you. What does she mean by there are plenty of opportunities out there for? She means to get sex. We all know there are plenty of opportunities for sex. That's what men love to do. Yeah, men will always have sex with you, but is that going to give you what you're trying to get, which is a long-term committed relationship? Probably not. And then she continues, until you find a man, you should never stop taking advantage of the situation you are in. So she says, until you find a man, you should never stop taking advantage of the situation. What situation is that? Oh, the single life? Until you find a man. So you're not finding men during the single life? No, she is, but she's just going through them. Or are they going through her? Let's see what she says. Number 1, refusing to settle. Your standards should not drop as you age. Even though that is a complete lie, gentlemen, we're going to break this down. She is wrong. As a woman, the more you age, your standards must go down, because men know this. Men know that for women, their value goes down as they age. So if you are thinking like this as a woman, this is going to keep you single. Like, if you are not like 23 anymore and you're like 43, 53, you can't be having standards of when you were 23, begging and asking for things you wanted back then, because no one's going to give that to you, because guys don't want a 53-year-old that's all demanding and a headache at all. So yeah, that is completely wrong. She's giving you bad advice right here. If you listen to this, that will keep you single as you age. She continues, even though your biological clock is ticking. So she just contradicts herself right there. She says your standards shouldn't drop as you age, even though your biological clock is ticking. Like, really? That contradicts itself. So your biological clock is ticking. So that means you need to actually take this stuff seriously, and you should settle. That's basically what she's saying in the second sentence. And she continues, you should still hold out for a man who treats you right. If you never find him, so what? Single isn't that bad. So she says you should still hold out for a man who treats you right. So every man that treats you right, you're just gonna hold out? But at the same breath, she's saying that bad. So she's basically implying that she's having a fun time either way, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. Now it says focusing on yourself. Instead of giving random guys on Tinder your attention, you should be giving yourself attention. Buy some new clothes, go to a spa, and run a bubble bath. You deserve it, girl. Well, I mean, she's right. You should focus on yourself, but doing things that don't actually improve yourself won't actually help you. So she says, buy some new clothes. That's going, I mean, you can buy new clothes, but that's not going to fix what's inside of you. Go to the spa, same thing, and run a bubble. Those are things that like give you pleasure for a minute or two, and then your problems still remain. So with the focusing on yourself part, she should have added things like go see a therapist, go to the gym, get a new cooking class, things like that. Things that you can actually get a skill from, and things that make you better as a person, not looks wise, not anything. When you focus on yourself, you should be focusing on being a better person, not all this shallow stuff that she talks about. There is no number 3. I don't know where that went. So it says advancing in your career. So there's another one. Men don't care about your career. So here's the thing, you have 2 choices as a woman, and they don't tell you this. You can either be a career woman and probably not be in a relationship, or you can be a wife and not really care too much about the career and be taken care of for basically your whole life. So it's basically, you can't have both. You can't have it all. Like, there's no way that you can be this powerhouse attorney and somehow be this great, lovable, nurturing, submissive, nice, sweet mother. It just doesn't work that way. That's not life. If you want to be a career woman, that is great. Like, and I root for you, but you can't also turn around and say you want to be this home staying wife, this loving wife. That usually is not the case. And here we go. It says, right at the first sentence, not even a sentence, it says, screw love. But she's saying all this other stuff. Your career is way more important than the future husband you still haven't met yet. That's because you haven't done the work, which it says in the previous bullet point. She's telling you to do the work, but it's really not any work that's going to help you be better. And then she also says, take advantage of the extra time you have for work now so you can get a promotion before Cupid hits you with an arrow. So she's trying to imply that you can go to work and be this great worker and all of a sudden Cupid's gonna hit you with an arrow. That's not how life works. Like, these women think they can go off in the workforce for 10, 15 years and then come back at 33, 38 years old and be like, hey, I'm ready for you now and I need you to do this and this and this and you have to be this and this and this. Guys are turning around like, wait, hold on a minute. There's this 21-year-old who's not so big on her career and she just wants to be a wife and take my lead and build a life. So which of those 2 girls do you think this guy's gonna choose? He's gonna choose the lady who is ready to take direction and be his wife. Most men, I'd say 95% of men do not care about a woman's career. So if you come in leading with that, a guy might pretend and say, oh, your career is so great. Oh my God, I admire that. But he's just saying that to get in your pants. Most guys, we're looking for our compliment. We're not looking for someone to contribute financially, maybe a little bit, but we're really looking for someone to have the things that we don't have, like the nurturing, the softness, the things that we say we want, but we usually cannot get. But I digressed. Checking out men. She says, even if you're happy being single, you can still check out men. You don't even have to walk up to them and introduce yourself. Just enjoy the eye candy. If they catch you staring, it'll be a compliment. So I don't get what she means by that. Is that a compliment for the guy, or is she being so, I guess, cocky to say the compliment's for her? This one I am not sure about. But either way, she's saying relationships don't define you, but she's saying check out men. How does that equate? If this is supposed to be about relationships not defining you, you shouldn't even be talking about men. But literally all these bullet points, except for number 4, have something to do with men. So that just shows you right there, she's completely full of it. Even in this article, she can't stay on point with what she's really trying to convey. Now it says, being yourself. When you're in a relationship for a long time, you'll start to act like the other person. That's why you should enjoy the single life. That's not true, though. That women tend to take on the man that they're with. So usually if she's with a strong man, she'll tend to take on his mannerisms, but it doesn't always go vice versa with the man. So that's actually wrong. That's deep-rooted biology. I can actually go deep on that, but we're not going to do that today. But she's actually wrong about that. So it's actually women that take on your mannerisms. So if you notice that, if you have a girlfriend and you notice that she took on your mannerisms, but then a few weeks pass and she starts whole new mannerisms, you better believe she's talking to another man, because that's what women do. They take on men's mannerisms that they're around. They start being more like their man. That doesn't always work with men to women. See, that's what she's conflating. She's trying to conflate men and women being the same, and we're not the same at all. All right, here we go. Hooking up. Here we go. She says, if you're happier having safe sex with strangers than going out on dates, then you should continue your lucky streak. So she's basically promoting you to be a hoe. She's basically saying if you're happier being a hoe, then be a hoe instead of getting the skills to be a wife. She's basically saying, oh, if you want to be a hoe, just be a hoe. That's not helping your women get what they need in life. That's not helping. I don't understand how this woman's a dating coach. She's basically telling women to be sluts out there. Like imagine this is your daughter, your sister, or your mother giving this advice. Like, how are you doing this? You're literally destroying people. Like, it's fun. Yeah, it's a lot more fun to be a slut. Like, I'll be the first to tell you, to be a slut, it's probably one of the top 5 most fun thing to do, but it's not fulfilling. It's gonna leave you empty and alone and broke in the end. It's not worth it. Being a slut in your young years is not the homelessness. It's not worth the homelessness and the strife you're gonna have in your elder years and your older years. And we're a lot older in our life than we are younger. So a lot of people, mainly women, need to like hunker down and realize what they're doing here, because life is not a joke. If you don't have 2.5 million roughly in cash by the time you're 65, your money is going to run out and you are going to end up on the streets.
She belongs to the streets.
And that's not what I want anybody, especially a woman. There is nothing more vulnerable than an elderly old woman. And that is the case.
Yep.
So let's see here. She says, don't worry about how high your number gets. So right here, she's promoting high body counts, which is awful. Like, the higher your body count, the harder it is for you to pair bond with a man and have a long lasting relationship. And it's also harder for a man to take you seriously. And it's more likely for you to get that 7-year itch and leave your man for new, you know what. It rhymes with prick, starts with a D. And how about we keep going? If you find someone special to settle down with, and notice how she says if, she doesn't say when, because she knows this lifestyle doesn't really tend to give you what you need and want in life. So she says, if you find that someone special to settle down with in the future, he won't care how many guys you've banged, as long as he's the last guy you ever bang. And she's actually completely wrong with that one. Any guy that finds out that you're a slut, he's going to not take you seriously. And if he finds out you have some crazy number, he is gonna call off the wedding every single time, because he realizes that his girl,
She belongs to the streets.
and that's just what it is. If you find out your girl has a triple count body count or a crazy double count, bro, I'm sorry. Every single time. And you really got to ask yourself,
Bruh.
like, why are you being with a girl with a high body count? This is why you have to vet your women and find out as much as you can about them. And if you don't want to know the body count, do not ask, because no matter what the number is, it's not ever going to be too high or low. Any number will piss you off. So do not do it. This woman's giving the worst advice ever. Like, she does not know what she's talking about right here, because every single guy on this planet, he may not admit it, but every single guy cares, even in the deep back part of their brain, in their mind, they care about their girl's body count. Like, if they knew that their girl had 1,000 guys to their name, if any guy dating their girl or married to their woman found out they had 1,000 notch body count, they would leave her. And any woman that would be mad about that, man, that's their problem. Because we have preferences too, and we have needs and wants too, and we don't want our girl being a hoe, knowingly anyway. I mean, there are some idiot guys that try to save hoes and try to make a hoe into a housewife, and we see where that gets them. That gets them nowhere, losing half of their assets, and us telling you, I told you so. So let's see what this says. Number 8, spending time with friends. It doesn't matter if your friends are single ladies too, or if they're in relationships. All right, so with this, she's actually wrong. If you're in a relationship, I would not talk to any of your single friends, because they will be the first ones to break your relationship up and give you the worst relationship advice.
Yep.
I promise you, do not listen to your single friends if you're in a relationship.
Yep.
They will leave your relationship in a ruckus.
Yep.
And then she says, either way, make sure to keep them in your life. It never hurts to shoot them a text. See, she is on that. Because that's that loneliness. She's saying you don't need a relationship to be fulfilled. But this right here, friendship is a relationship. It's not a romantic relationship, but it's a relationship. So she is contradicting herself right here. So this is where this one sentence right here contradicts the entire bullet points that she's been trying to hammer into us. So that just goes to show you a lot of women don't really put thought into the things that they put out there. They really don't. They just, whatever comes to mind, let's just put that down on paper. You know what I mean? It's like words mean things. And this is just like really toxic. And I don't really like throwing that word around, but this doesn't help anybody get what they want in the future. It gets you excitement in the beginning. It gets you everything up front. But in the future, this is not going to get you what you need. And then now, number 9, she's telling ignorant people off. So how do you know they're ignorant? So that's really like very divisive, because she's saying telling ignorant people off. What if they're actually giving factual, valid points and you're just telling them off because you just don't like what they're saying? So that would make you ignorant. So this makes her ignorant by putting this as a bullet point. Like, we haven't even read those messages yet. How could you say that they're ignorant if you haven't read it yet? What if they actually are the truth and they make sense? And then you're just taking all emotion and being mad at it. See, like, you can't always take people for what they're saying. You gotta read through the lines. Now she says, relationships aren't everything. Yes, they are. Life is about relationships and people and trade-offs and choices. Life is about people, trade-offs, choices, and relationships. That's what life is about. So she's wrong. She continues, if your friends pity you because you haven't found Mr. Right, don't be afraid to speak your mind. Let them know that their ignorant comments have crossed the line. So let them know that the reality of you being single is not cool. They're literally trying to push you to do the right thing, and you're gonna basically tell them off and call them ignorant because they're basically telling you the truth and trying to get you to do the right thing and be a good woman. Nah, see, this is terrible advice, and this is the stuff you see online all the time. You see people calling them out. You see people calling women out on like their bad behavior or their shortcomings, and then you see these women clapping back, being crazy, and then you realize why they're single. It's like, damn, you're that mean, you're that combative, you're that argumentative, and it really shows you that there is no type of healing, there's no therapy, there's no thought. It's just no empathy in it at all. It's like, how can you be a wife if you have no empathy? You just can't do it. And they just don't realize it. Now it says dressing for yourself. So that's, I don't understand women that say that. Oh, I don't dress for men. So you're in a midi skirt in the house with your makeup done and everything all did, just sitting on the couch, windows all the way down, no one can see you, right? Yeah, don't ever believe a woman that says, oh, I dress for myself. There is not a single woman that dresses for themselves. They dress for male attention. Do not believe nonsense. Women lie all the time, especially when it comes to their female nature, the negative part, and also when it comes to trying to please men. They will never admit to that. Most women anyway. So she says, you shouldn't wear the clothing that men supposedly love, but they do it anyway. With the low-cut shirts, the tube tops, the short skirts, the leggings. Like, the list goes on with the stuff that they wear. And they know they wear it for us, for male attention. Women love male attention. That's their fuel that fuels them, okay? So it also goes, you should wear the clothing that you love. After all, it's your body, so you should cover it with whatever you think is the cutest. So she's just promoting women to basically dress like you know what. And I mean, that's cool and all, but men look at that stuff. If we see you dressing like a hooker, we're not gonna treat you like a wife. We're gonna treat you like a hooker. So this woman is giving the worst advice you can listen to. I would not listen to this. I would honestly, This is actually great. This is stuff you actually read and you do the opposite of this. Because if you don't, that's what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna take a loss.
Yep.
So always read these articles and do the opposite. Like, because a lot of these women have no idea what they're talking about. They're gonna lead you into a ditch and basically ruin your life if you listen to any of this stuff. Like, a lot of these on this list will literally ruin your life as a woman. All right, she goes, embracing your single status. Don't mope around the entire time you're single. So not the entire time, just some of the, so she's admitting that you're gonna mope around. So right there, she's contradicting this sentence and her whole entire article. She says, don't mope around the entire time. So that means in that sentence alone, it means you were moping a little bit. So that means she mopes for being single sometimes. So stop it right there. She caught right there. And I always say, give a woman enough time, she's gonna tell the truth inadvertently. So it says, go out and have a great time. So that means go out, get drunk, and get, you know what, get something that rhymes with prick, but starts with a D. Or something that rhymes with lick and starts with a D. Or Rick and starts with a D. You get my point. And then it says, there are hundreds of married women out there.
Yep.
But women out there jealous of your situation, make them proud. So she's basically admitting that married women want to go out and have the fun that these single women are having. So she's basically, I would advise men to read all these articles, because like, these articles are gems. You literally can get in the mind of a female and really understand how they think and what they really want to portray and convey to us. This is a gold mine, guys. I got plenty more of these articles coming, and we're gonna read a lot more of these. These are actually interesting, because a lot of these women are,
She belongs to the streets.
and we're gonna expose all of them. Thanks.